Alright guys, it's Ryan from RJMartindale. In this video, we're going to talk about taking over a second plumbing and heating company that is BHE Services, making some tough decisions early on to reduce overhead, changing all the software to run in line with the existing business RJMartindale, and the process I go through in buying new vans. I do just want to say that the video that we posted last week, we actually filmed that 3 to 4 months ago back in July, but I couldn't face putting it out there. I don't know what it was, maybe worried about what people would think and me coming across the wrong way. But we posted it, and I just want to say thank you because we've had a ton of great feedback, loads of comments and questions which I tried to answer, and overall it's done really well. I think we've had over 300 subscribers in our first video, so thanks for that. That being said, in that video, I was talking about taking over another plumbing and heating company. And in the last couple of months, we've carried out our first business acquisition. We've taken over another company called BHE Services. BHE do everything that we do: boiler installation, service and repair, and monthly home care plans. This business has been going over 50 years. It must be one of the longest going heating companies in this area. And over that time period, they would specialise. They built up a big round for social housing and basically council contracts, and they had roughly 50 vans on the road and about 18 office staff, so they were a big outfit. Now, cutting a long story short, they lost that contract, or some of the big contracts, in 2020 and dropped from 50 vans down to 4 practically overnight. Now, the 4 vans that were left looked after a small private division, again, which is everything that we do. Now, I found out about this. I mean, if we go back, the 4 vans that were left, they carried on for another couple of years and basically decided to call it a day. I mean, they've been going 50 years. So I found out about this, and initially I just wanted to buy the phone number and do a redirect to RJMartindale, take over the website as a marketing tool because it ranks really well for SEO, and look at buying the database, so the home care plans, migrate it all over to our stuff just in the Bolton area. But then as we got further into the conversations, they was talking about they also have 2 vans that cover Lancaster, Morecambe and the Lake District, which is not too far. It's about an hour from Bolton. So I had a chat with the engineers. One thing kind of led to another, and they decided to, because it had been going so long, these vans had been around Wigan and Leigh for the last 50 years. So I thought it had some legs. So basically decided to buy the shares of the company. So 2 separate businesses, RJMartindale, BHE, but integrate the engineers to give wider coverage for our customers and our home care clients. Now, I'm going to use all the same systems and processes that we used at RJMartindale to grow our sales from roughly £100,000 a year to now over £100,000 a month. And like I mentioned in the last video, the last 3 years, what we did in them last 3 years is give me the confidence in knowing I can do exactly the same thing with this business. And here are some of the things that we've been working on over the last couple of months to get the business where it needs to be. And I certainly don't want to sound like I'm discrediting BHE. They've been going over 50 years. They've built an amazing brand and they've got a lot more experience than I have. But there's a big difference between super slim margins across big council contracts than how we operate the private side. Okay, firstly, software. BHE were using the following software: Propeller as a CRM job management, Sage for accounts, and a direct debit software to take the monthly payments. And the CRM that they was using, Propeller, was more set up towards social housing and council contracts, not as much the private side. But the bigger problem, the software's amazing, but it's only good if they integrate together. So if they don't integrate together and push through to your accounting software, you've no real reporting, which means you can't see an accurate profit and loss each month, each week or each month, and then it becomes impossible to budget for any type of marketing, buying vans or engineers. What I'm doing now is moving all of the database over to the software that we use at RJMartindale, which is the following: Commusoft as a CRM and job management, Xero for accounts, profit and loss reports, Stripe as a debit and credit card integration, GoCardless for our monthly home care and service plans, and Trello for internal communication. And that's not to say that this software is any better or worse. The main difference is they all integrate seamlessly together. So I can see exactly what's going on. I get an accurate profit and loss weekly and monthly. And then I cross-reference that to my balance sheet to make sure that we're making money and we're paying down any debts at the same time. And then I can relay that back to my team so they know exactly what is going on. Right, pricing. I'll not go into it too much, but here's a couple of things that I've made adjustments to early on. It has got me thinking a little bit this, because in the Bolton area, you're within 10 or 15 minutes from each job. Now, in the Lancaster, Morecambe and Lake District, you can be travelling 30 minutes, 45 minutes, up to an hour in between jobs. To fix that, we now have a minimum charge up to 1.5 hours. So aside from the set costs that we have, I try and do as many set fixed prices as we can to make it a lot easier for invoicing and less operational drag at the back end. But say somebody calls, a customer calls with a reactive or same day emergency, there'll be a minimum charge up to 1.5 hours, and then we'll charge in 30-minute increments. And this so far has worked well with very little pushback. And lastly, before I go and show you the vans, these are some of the difficult decisions that I've needed to make early on to reduce the overhead. So we're all going to work out of RJ Martindale's office. Get rid of the office that BHE were using in Bolton. This will save on rent and utility bills. We'll migrate over to our software, which I've just spoke about. And this alone will save roughly £1,000 a month. We've reduced the office staff. So at BHE, they had the following team: office manager, diary coordinator, bookkeeper, and accountant. We'll utilise our existing team and bring one member over that had a good relationship with the engineers and the client. This was the key, and that is the lovely Catherine. These savings alone will pay for the monthly structured cost of the acquisition, that is £5,000 a month, but not make any difference to the workflow that's coming into the business. This then takes the pressure off me, so I can focus my time on increasing engineers' wages, putting more engineers on the road, buying more vans, and pushing on market spend. This then should bring RJ Martindale and BHE up together. Right, I'm talking of vans this week. We've literally just bought 2 brand new vans. They're outside, so now I'm going to give you a run through of what we've bought and my mindset I go through when I'm buying vans. Here are 2 brand new Ford Custom short wheelbase that we've literally just picked up today for our service and breakdown engineers. They're currently all black, but this week they're both going to be fully wrapped. 2 separate wraps, one for BHE, one for RJ Martindale. They're fully colour coded, so black bumpers, wing mirrors. We've had the deadlocks fitted for security, and we've done a basic ply line kit at the back. Come here, Daniel. These are now ready to be racked out, ready for our engineers so they can get their kit in. I'll show you a quick inside of the van. Too good for a work van, these, Daniel. We've still got a bit to do on the inside of the van. They need dash cam, immobiliser and tracker, so we know exactly where the van is, and again more security, but they're pretty much ready to go. You can still got the film on. Heated seats to keep my lads warm, heated windscreen to sort, will be good for winter, and yeah, we're all ready to go. We'll go inside now and I'll give you a full breakdown of the hire purchase, the cost I paid for the van, the breakdown, and my thought process in buying and paying for these vans. These are the 3 main ways that we bought vans in the past. Now, my accountant might correct me on some of this, but this is my basic understanding on what we've done. Buying a van outright, very simple. Make full payment of the van, no monthly costs or interest fees, and you've got complete ownership of the van. This is great, but there'll be a lot of capital deployed, roughly £28,000–30,000, which could make cash flow tight. This will sit on your balance sheet as an asset, and your accountant will depreciate this over time. Leasing a van. This is what I've done with my own vehicle. You're essentially renting the van. So you'll put an initial payment down, and then you'll have monthly costs, which is generally the depreciation of the van over a set period plus fees. And then at the end of that time, you'll swap that van in for another and go again. You could do that every 3 years. This will sit on your profit and loss report as an expense, and you'll claim the VAT back on the monthly amount. Hire purchasing a van. I've done this for the last 3 vehicles, and I'm doing it on the next 2 vans now. I see this as the best of both options. Put an initial deposit down and spread the rest of the cost, plus interest over a set period of time. You're basically taking a loan out for the van. We usually do 48 months, 4 years, with a 3k balloon payment at the end. You then have full ownership of the van. And one other big benefit is you get to claim all the VAT up front for the van. This will also sit on your balance sheet as an asset, and your accountant will depreciate this over time. And here is a run through of the Ford custom van that we've got outside. Obviously there's 2 vans outside, so I'm just going to give you an example of one. Total cost of this van, £28,000 plus VAT, which is just less than £34,000. So back to if we was buying the van outright, you would put your £34,000 down, you claim your VAT back, so the van would stand you at £28,000 and you're done. But again, this could cause issues to cash flow because there'll be a lot of capital put down. In this situation with the hire purchase, we put down £8,400. This is made up of £2,800 deposit and also the VAT element, which is £5,600. I've put my £8,400 down, and then this is followed by 48 payments of £598 per month. Now there's no VAT on this because I've already claimed the VAT element here. So I've got my 48 months of £598 with a £3,000 balloon payment at the end. Now, depending on your situation, that balloon payment could be £3,000, £5,000, £7,000. The difference off this balloon will determine your monthly cost. So if you feel that cash flow is really tight and you need a van, you could increase that balloon payment to £7,000, £8,000 and bring that monthly cost down. But for me, 48 months at 598, I can deal with that, and then at the end of that period, I don't need to worry about a big balloon payment. £3,000 we can deal with, and then we can decide what we're doing then. After that 4 years, you can then decide to strip the wrap off. I've got a black van that then I could sell. I could sell that on and put that into another van, or you can then just run that van into the ground. You might get 8, 9 or even 10 years out of the van. So anything over that 4 years, you're doing all right. Now I do just want to add, this hire purchase doesn't come cheap. They have roughly the interest is between 5.5% and 6.5% flat rate, which on that 598, it's costing you between £130 and £150 a month just in interest. Now, there's a lot of tax benefits. Your accountant will look to squash that as much as possible. But I always think, worst case scenario, I've got to find £598 per month. And I'll give you a run through now of my mindset when I'm buying a van and how I get them paying for themselves within 4 to 6 weeks. Right. So what I do is I put a further £3,000 into marketing. Okay, and with that £3,000, I'll look to convert at least 10 boilers. That's more like, especially going into winter period, it could be 10 or even up to 20 boilers. But worst case scenario, I convert 10 boilers. With that 10 boilers, that alone will pay for my £3,000 marketing costs. And in most cases, I will cover my £2,800 deposit here. And then remember, on my next VAT return, I'll claim the £5,600 back. So I've no capital, I've got all of my money back at that point. With that same budget, I'll also look to convert roughly 30 home care. 30 home care with an ACV of £20 a month, average customer value. So the different, our home care, we have costs from £7.50 a month up to £34 a month. And roughly we'll do 30 odd clients, which will convert at £20 a month, which in total will be £600 per month, which just so happens covers, it's on the other side, try again. This will then pay for the 48 monthly payments of £598 and then the pressures off me. Obviously, I still need to facilitate these customers. 30 home care customers will need 30 initial inspections, but that's what we're doing day in, day out. It's a lot easier for us to do that. What I then need to think are the other costs that are associated with getting the van sorted. They need to be wrapped. I've got to get the roof rack sorted, kitted out in the back, security, deadlocks, dash cams, all these other bits that need paying for. So that's what we'll be doing this week. But here is the run through of what I do when I'm buying a van. Going into next week, work's gone crazy now, so Dan's going to be following me around on the feet while we get these vans kitted out and ready and market for new engineers. If you've got any questions, bang them in the comments and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.